You. Hello, everybody.
Oh.
Welcome to MangaPod. I'm Aaron, happily Aaron.
I'm Dodger. And that's
Hello,
it.
I'm like,
And that's all
sorry.
of us.
I had the stream open, and so then all I hear is Aaron saying everything twice, and then Dodger saying everything twice, and then me just being like, my brain cannot keep up. Not right now. But hello, I'm Moika.
I love it.
Oh, it's so. Oh, I'm Lou.
Oh
Yeah.
Classic Lou.
Where'd it come from?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
He's
We're
busy, guys.
We're MangaPod. We're a weekly podcast which y'all get together after we've read all a part of a manga, and then we discuss its friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week we are talking Black Butler, chapters 1 through 19, a classic that so many people are excited and invested in what we're gonna discuss it. People, there's no controversy. Everyone loves this manga.
Everyone loves it.
Everyone
Absolutely.
loves it. Look at Moeka.
It blew my mind, though.
Smile.
This morning, I messaged the MangaPod group because I was like, wait, what the fuck? This manga's still going? And it started a whole fucking thing of us being like, wait, there's so many of these goddamn manga from this exact decade. They were like, I'm just gonna take a hiatus forever. Just kidding, it's back.
We're back. Well, because we last week when we did number 6, we were trying to remember what manga from our like middle school years. I think it was Dodger middle school year that you were like, oh, it's so great. I'm so invested. And now you look back and you're like, oh, that was problematic.
Yeah, that was a problematic read.
And we realized I just out of nowhere was like, I don't know, cleaning and thought, oh shit, it's Loveless that we were trying to think of. And then we were all, then Moika goes, no, I was hoping that wasn't it. And we found out Loveless is still going, right?
Yeah.
Loveless
is I guess it's back on like a hiatus, but the mangaka wants to do like 2-3 more volumes and see where they're at.
Incredible.
Like,
Angel.
I was just gonna say DN Angel's
Loveless
still
came back.
DN Angel's still hanging on. I don't know
Wild.
how. It's like that cat that's hanging from a rope, except it's only from one claw.
You can do it, manga.
DN Angel.
Also, okay, someone in chat said Loveless, the Final Fantasy play, and as a kid, Loveless, the manga, ruined that for me, because all I could think of was, wow, this dude's just straight up reading this boy love shit. All right.
Man, Loveless is a trip.
Loveless is a trip.
It's so crazy. So Butler.
Anyway, so yeah, we read Black Butter. Chapters 1 through 19.
Someone in chat said, at least it's not Black Butter. And now that's stuck in my head. And it actually made me look at the overlay because I was like, oh no, I did another Children of the Whales.
It's a goof.
Another goof.
I would be so impressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be great. It'd be so good for my self-esteem. Black Butter. If you've never joined us, bringing it back for a MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you a short description of the manga that we read, aka a summary, and then we'll give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, if it sounds like something you are interested in, you can go ahead and take your leave once we get to spoiler section and go read it, come back and watch the VOD of it on youtube.com/happily-aaron, or you can listen to it on Spotify as well when the episode goes up, and Spotify's updated on Tuesdays. Yeah. So I will go ahead and read the description. Tucked away in the English countryside lies the ominous manor of the Phantom Hives, a family which has established itself as the cold and ruthless Queen's watchdog, as well as the head of London's criminal underground. After a tragedy leaves the Earl and his wife dead, many are shocked when their son, a young boy named Ciel, it's Ciel, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how I
See that.
pronounce it in my head.
That's how I pronounce it. Yeah.
Okay. Claims his place as the new Earl of Fansenhive House. At first, many perceive him only as a child surrounded by a few eccentric servants, but they soon begin to realize that it is foolish to meddle with Ciel and his demonic butler, Sebastian. Taking place at the end of the 19th century, Black Butler follows these two as they face countless mysteries and dangers that plague England and threaten the Queen, uncovering the truth about what really happened to Ciel's parents in the process. Mysteries. Spoiler-free recommendations. Would anybody like to go first?
I can go. I had steered clear of Black Butler for years and years and years. I knew so many people in high school who were reading it, and I was like, I was honestly like pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Yeah, there are some things about it that are dated. I feel like I won't necessarily be able to explain what that is until we've talked about it a little bit. You know, sometimes once we've been discussing things for a while. Aaron, what are you doing?
My foot fell asleep, so I'm shaking it.
It straight up looked like you were like, I'm on a horse. I'm on a horse. But staring off into the distance. I'm on a horse. I'm on a horse.
I was trying to be subtle.
Anyway, what we read, I thought it was fun. I would recommend it.
Micah?
Yeah, I'd recommend it. It's like, I know exactly what Dodger's talking about in like terms of it being dated, but it's still really solid. And so if you're into something that's dark and has some goofs, and a little bit of mystery, yeah, definitely check it out. I was really like surprised at how well it like kept up with the times.
I'm the same. I had a lot of people recommend this manga and the anime to me, and I just had never checked it out, to the point where I didn't know exactly what it was about, in terms of like it was going to be more mysteries and stuff. I did not expect the more one-offies to be occurring with it, but I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't think we'll touch on this later, but I don't think we've quite hit certain parts that people who are really into it have, like, what made them super invested to continue it.
Yeah.
But I still really enjoyed the first few. I thought it was fun. I thought there was some really fun fights that happened as well. So yeah, I recommend going and checking it out. Like Dodger said, for the warnings that we have for it, there is violence and blood in it, and there's also some good old great racism that happens in it too.
Yeah.
Which we will talk more about when we hop into spoiler section. So, do you guys have anything else you want to touch on?
No, I just want to like reiterate that this is like a young adults series, and so it's pretty dark for being a young adult series. So if you're expecting like, oh, ha ha ha, funny boys love here and there, it's a little more darker than that.
Yeah.
Just in case you are interested.
Yeah, that's a good point. Cool.
All right. This is your opportunity to peace out. If you want to, if after all these years you're like, you know what, maybe I will read Black Butler, like we were.
We are what convinced you.
Yeah, this is your shot, because we're about to blow this shit wide open, just up to chapter 19. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sebi is God.
But is he?
You know,
He's pretty much
Grell is God.
You know what? I fucked that
a few
up.
gods.
I fucked that up. Gruel is like a half god.
An actual god.
An actual god.
Yeah.
We need Lou. He's so much better at the god stuff.
Dude, I was so mad, honestly, though, because let me tell y'all a story. One time,
Okay, tell me.
I'm
I'm here.
I really wanted to. I'll keep it short, but I really wanted to get, like believable teeth that I could put in that were like shark teeth. And everything that I found was like Grell teeth, right? So I'm reading this manga and we meet this fucking butler who's like a dumb piece of shit. And I was like, he's that character. He's gonna be that character. I'm so mad that I know this. I'm so mad that I don't know any fucking thing about Black Butler. I didn't even know that dude was a demon. No clue. I didn't know nothing about Black Butler, but the second I met that guy, I was like, oh. You're that character that I've seen all over the place. Okay, you're the one who's murdering people. All right. So, unfortunately, the like mystery aspect of that arc, I missed out on.
You got lost. I lost it.
Yeah.
So the question we usually like to start with is, what were you expecting before going into reading this manga or rereading it? And like we kind of touched on it in our spoiler-free recommendation, but is there anything more spoilery / deeper that you, Dodger, would like to, and me, not Dodger, wanted to bring up in terms of what we were expecting, and then Moeka rereading it, or if you can remember the first few times that you read it? But yeah, is there anything more spoilery? Otherwise, we can always just start with characters and stuff.
I didn't, the first like 3 chapters, I think, you still don't know that Sebastian's a demon. You just know he's like really good at fighting, and there are like some goofs where he like grabs rats like while they're running around and like weird shit like that. And I really was sitting there going, okay, I know that, like Aaron was saying, I know that there's supposed to be some mystery aspects to this manga, but there's obviously, like, is it going to turn out that anything's going on with Sebastian? Like, who is this guy? And then we got the chapter where they were like, he's a demon.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. But it got me way more. The first 3 chapters I had kind of a hard time getting through because it was so heavy on the 3 other people in the house who should all be fired. I don't understand.
They're so bad. Why are they there?
Why on earth, if you had Sebastian in your life and you knew what the good life was like with somebody who was like, sure, yeah, I can do literally anything for you, and you had these other 3 like fuck ups in your house that were ruining everything constantly, like, why the fuck are they there?
Yes.
Anyway, we had so much of like, Sebastian does everything perfectly and they fuck up everything and Sebastian fixes it, and that's like the punchline. We had so much of that just in the first like couple of chapters that I was like, I really hope we get somewhere soon. That once the demon reveal happened, I was really excited to keep reading because I was like, aw, shit. Okay, we're gonna do some supernatural garbage now. I'm in.
Yeah, I was the same. Those first few chapters, I was so like genre confused. Because I'm just like whiplash going into this, expecting the dark and the mystery, because that's what all the gifts are. It's like all mysterious with the eye and everything. And we got this like humor, slice of lifey Butler thing. And I'm just sitting, I was like, am I reading the right manga? And it felt like it did one of those things that it didn't know what it was being, like what it was going to be, until it had like 3 chapters in. And so, yeah, it just felt kind of slice of lifey in the first few chapters. But I really liked when it suddenly, like, there was just this big switch in terms of, oh, Sebastian, like, actually has some issues being the demon for Ciel. Like there's a deeper thing going on there. And so it made me really happy when we got to that reveal. And I knew that Sebastian was human. I didn't know exactly what he was. I always assumed he was a vampire, but
that makes sense.
Right? He's very vampire-esque. Yeah. So that's kind of what, going into it, I wasn't expecting those first few chapters to be what they were. Malika, do you remember, like...
When I was younger, I was in middle school, so, from what I remember, it was just like, oh, wow, pretty art. Oh, it starts off really cute. And then it was just like, oh, this isn't just like the weird slice of lifey stuff. Like there's something else happening here. And so that it's pretty much what you guys said. Going back to it, it's really weird because I remember the backdrops being way more intricate, but I don't know if that was just like me remembering because I also watched the anime. So I don't know if it was just me remembering like the anime and how they animated a lot of stuff out. And so I was like surprised at how simple some of the panels were, which makes sense because like the outfits are super intricate as is. So I'm just like, whoa, I don't know why that weirded me out going back to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what it is about it that feels old to me. And part of me feels like it's the outfits sometimes, like the way that the dresses are drawn for some reason feels like an older manga, and I don't know how to explain why that is.
For me, because I thought that it felt very 90s too, and I don't know when it started. It probably started in the it started in 2006. It felt 90s to me, I think, because of the pacing and the humor at the start felt very clampy, not in a bad way. And then it was the same with the twists and how they paced like certain panels and certain scenes. There was just a big chunk of it that felt like it was done by Clamp, and that took me back to the 90s when I was real invested into everything that was Clamp. And so that was like, for me personally, what took me back. Which sounds like, I don't know, it sounds weird. It's hard to explain if you haven't read Clamp. Like, you're probably like, what does that mean?
Probably for both of us, we've read lots of stuff from the 90s, and we're seeing similarities from other things that we know were made around the same time. And it's hard for us to pinpoint, like, I don't know what it is, but there was some kind of a style choice that was popular then that the like multiple things were using. And I'm recognizing that, but I can't totally place what it is, you know?
Yeah.
I definitely think it is the way some of the outfits are drawn, and then they go for like the big like magical girl eyes, and you even see little references to other 90s series like what's it called? It's like something Versailles.
Rose of Versailles.
Yes,
right?
They did a reference of that in the manga at some point.
Oh.
Like just making like a little goof, and it was just like where their eyes are like really squinty, like just really thin lines, and then everything else is like super exaggerated and it's all glittery.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I definitely think it's little things like that mixed in with her art style that makes it really weirdly like dated. But
right.
I don't mind it. But it is really weird to be like, huh, why does this make me feel nostalgic for something else? I don't know. So weird.
There's also like, you don't see it super often in heavier, like, darker manga anymore, where it switches between the heavy into little chibi art, like chibi thing. Like if you have
Yes.
if you have a dark scene going, nowadays it's very rare to see suddenly a thing of humor. Like suddenly you see a chibi in the middle of it. And that feels like a very 90s thing. Or to like have a fight suddenly be broken up by something silly, or it ends with, oh, that person is now a good guy, or things like that. And so I think there's a big chunk of the way the story is told that feels very reminiscent of how stories in the 90s were told too. But yeah, you're right. It's like, why do I feel like I'm reading something from 1991? I don't understand.
I just can't quite place it.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It really does. It's not, the art is good. Not that we're talking about art yet specifically, but I think that it's not one of those situations where I'm reading something and I'm going, wow, this does not hold up anymore, right? Like this looks super it doesn't. It's just reminiscent of older things, I think.
Yeah. I think so too.
But yeah.
Sorry.
Do it.
Something else that going into it, that talking about expectations again, way more touchy-feeliness between Ciel and Sebastian I was expecting very quickly early on. More like Shonen Ai heavy, just because when you see all the promotional art and what people talk about,
the promo art is very like
so like, oh, look at me
Luke
holding, very Pandora-esque, Pandora hearts. And so that's what, going into it feels like it's a real big bait thing. It's like, come in to it, but I feel like that must not get heavier until a little bit later on. But yeah, when you talk about like Shonen Ai series, I feel like Black Butler is one that's brought up a lot. And so I was expecting that to happen more like right off the bat. And
same.
It
and
wasn't
I'm so relieved. Because like right off the bat they're like, this kid's 12. So I was like, I really hope that I'm not having to watch like people get really touchy-feely with him all the time, because I'm gonna have a problem with that. Yeah, at least what we read honestly was fine. It was the normal trope of like, I'm your master, and then being like, you're right, I'll literally die for you.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of that.
I think the touchy-feely stuff that you see talked about comes more from the anime adaptation, because they went in a different direction than this manga.
Interesting.
At some point. And so that's where you get more of the weird Shonen Ai vibes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like super lover. I was expecting more super lovers, and I was like, no, thank goodness.
Yeah, there are people in chat are saying the anime is definitely more uncomfortable than the manga is. So, thank goodness.
Yeah, that's a relief. So yeah, that was another thing that I was anticipating, and it didn't happen. So, like you said, relief. So let's talk about, should we talk about Sebastian or Ciel first?
I'm fine with either. We've talked about Sebastian a bit already.
Yeah.
That wasn't really an answer, but
I was like, is she going in the direction
It's
of let's just finish talking about him, or was it
sure,
we've talked about him too much, so let's talk about Ciel. No, you started. You go. You started. Let's talk about Sebastian. Okay. Finish it. Let's finish.
Sounds great.
Our 7.
Look, he could be my husbando anytime. I could be his cat girl. Look, I can get the ears. Don't worry.
Cats. I love it.
Oh my god, yeah, that part in the manga killed me. I forgot about him being super into cats, and so it was just like, oh, I can't wait to see her, my lovely lady. And then it was just like, what the fuck? I don't remember another lady. Who's the love interest here? What the fuck? And then it was just
It's a
like,
goddamn
oh,
cat.
it's
I
the
love it.
cat. Oh my god, bless him.
I
Cute
love that
cat,
the
indeed.
cats. I love that the cats love him. Like they're
Yeah.
not like freaked
Mhm.
out by the fact that he's a demon. They're just like, ooh, I love
It's
him.
so good. Yeah, and when they're in the East End, and he's like, "Look at this cat," and Ciel's like, "You cannot take that cat home." It felt very much like they have this conversation all the time. Like he just picks
Yeah.
up cats and he's like, "No, put it back."
Exactly.
but she's so pretty.
So good.
Yeah, I loved that.
Also, Dodger, you touched on it earlier about how the other three are useless, and so Sebastian has to clean up after them. And I think
Yeah.
the manga touched on it, where it's like Ciel's way of being like really petty and making life harder for Sebastian on purpose.
I really like that.
Which is it makes me really like their relationship because it's so funny to me that this kid is just like fucking stupid ass. I hate you. You have to suffer.
Oh my god. They're so silly. People in chat were confirming that they get more character development later. But like what we've seen so far is literally like, I'm a gardener that destroys everything, and I'm a cook that tries to cook with guns, and I'm a maid that trips on everything and breaks all of the silverware and all of the plates. And I'm like, why are they there? So if they were literally hired because they're bad, that's the only believable way that I can accept it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, they're comedic relief. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it felt like for them. Which was another 90s thing where you have somebody there strictly to be the comedic relief.
Yeah.
I kind of brought it up earlier, but I am very interested in the relationship between Sebastian and Ciel. Just because sometimes it feels like Sebastian isn't just, blindly following Ciel's orders and doing it completely out of, I want to do this. This is my duty. I respect him so much. It's like, there are definitely moments where Sebastian looks like he doesn't like Ciel and that there's like a little bit of resentment there. But then he is like at Ciel's bidding because that is the deal that they made. That's the contract. So he will protect Ciel with his life. But there's moments where he is challenging Ciel. He's not just going with the flow and just blindly following his orders. There's times where he's like calling Ciel out on stuff, which I really liked. I liked that part of their relationship.
Yeah. I agree. I'm really curious about it because the way that it's being pitched so far, it doesn't make any sense. Because obviously Ciel was in like a horrifying, traumatizing situation, and in that moment made a deal with Sebastian. But the only deal that, like, the way that it looks right now is that Sebastian helped him in that moment, right? They created a contract and Sebastian helped him out. But I'm like, then what the fuck did Sebastian get out of it? So far, we only know that Sebastian would potentially even follow him and do his bidding after he's died, ? So I'm like, what happened here?
Yeah.
like, how did this kid get into such a compromising position and manage to create a contract with the devil in which, like, the devil does literally anything he asks for? I just I don't get it because we don't have all of the information yet.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing a really good job of like giving us crumbs, you know?
Yeah. A lead up to it. Yeah. That's what I was. Yeah, I was confused because one moment that really stood out to me was when Ciel hesitated about killing his aunt, um, and Sebastian brought up like, because Ciel said the whole thing about what was it he said? He said something, and then Sebastian was like, "No, that's not at all what happened," like calling him out and having Ciel react like a 12-year-old boy would. Like, he just seems at times way too mature for his age, and then to have Sebastian there to knock him down a notch or two feels very necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking about Ciel specifically, I'm glad at where we're at in the manga now. It feels like the mangaka has a better handle on his character.
Yeah.
Because the beginning, he was very just like, yes, truly,
Mm-hmm.
do it. I'm the master, right? Like, he had no personality at all.
Yeah.
And now he still does some of that shit, but it's interspersed with like, I am 12/13, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are moments where I get
Yeah.
flustered or I feel weird or like I get petulant.
Yeah.
And I think that's coming across a bit better. The like balance there is making more sense. He seems like more of a fleshed out character than he did at the beginning.
And having him
Yeah.
have more humor moments, I think, helps too.
Mm-hmm.
Micah, were you gonna say something? Sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, the one part where it made me realize, like, oh, he really is just like a 12-year-old kid is when Lizzie like first stops by and has like fucked up his whole mansion and like dressed everyone up, and then she's like, you have to wear the outfit I bought you, ring included, why aren't you wearing my ring, you piece of shit? And so she like grabs it and breaks it or whatever, and then Ciel like has that moment of, I'm gonna fucking pop you in the mouth, bitch, how could you? And then Sebastian's like, whoa, now you need to calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt so bad for him in that moment, though.
Yeah, no, I definitely did.
Yeah, Lizzie was not likable when we first meet her.
Nope.
Yeah.
I
like,
did
oh my
not
God.
wanted to get her out immediately.
Yeah, I think she's like a really good way of contrasting, like, Ciel has gone through really fucked up things, and so that's why he's super mature, and she's just like, ha ha ha, Mama told me that I must wear nice dresses and go to parties and be pretty. And then, yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, like, okay. I'm sure she'll grow more, but at the right now where we're at, she's just she's a little girl, and it's just like, all right, please stop.
Yeah.
We get it.
She's already better by the time we get the introduction to her mom. I feel like she was so much better already, which is the third time I think we see her.
We see her at the party too when they destroy the trafficking ring.
Yeah, the party and then the funeral and then afterwards. Yeah. So she's already better by the third time we saw her. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the moment that I liked but made me think about the first time we see her and I was like, I don't know about that shit, is just like how often she's like, I just don't want anything bad to happen to Ciel anymore. Like, he's had so much bad shit happen. If there's any way that I can make him happier or like distract him from it, then that's what I always try to do. But it's obvious, like, if that's the case, it's obvious from that first chapter that she just like, they don't know each other well enough for her to know how to do that.
Yes.
You know, like the ways in which she tries to go about it just stress him the fuck out instead.
And makes me curious if Well, I guess she knows that his like parents died and all of that, but it makes me curious how many people know what Ciel went through afterwards. I feel like it's only like when he was sold and all of that horrible stuff happened. Like I'm curious if Sebastian is the only one who knows about that, which I'm pretty sure he is. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't feel like Lizzie understands how to go about it, like you said.
Yeah, I think it's Madam Red touched on it, his aunt, that he was just gone for a month and then out of nowhere he came back and then they never like really talked about what happened to him. So I think the majority of people have no clue what he went through. They just know he was gone and then he came back with Sebastian.
Right. Yeah, the whole arc with his aunt was really sad, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I figured when we got to that like section, there was a lot of flags that someone within the trio that was the aunt and the Chinese smuggler guy, I feel like.
Yeah, Lao.
The like opium den guy.
Yeah. And then the butler, one of them was definitely the person creating, like doing it. Well, one of them was Jack the Ripper. I didn't expect it to be the butler. That really actually did surprise me because I didn't know about the teeth. I didn't know about the teeth.
I'm glad for you.
Yeah.
But it did surprise me that the butler ended up being a demigod. Like that I wasn't expecting because I understood demons, so I wasn't expecting demigods to come into the equation. And I like that they opened that up very early and that there's some politics that go on between demons and demigods, and there's obviously other stuff. So that's going to leave a lot of doors open for future arcs and what can be introduced, I feel like. Yeah, so I was surprised by which one, and that the aunt was also involved in it. But that arc was really sad. Just knowing that this is like another person that Ciel has lost, and it was right in front of him too.
And that she did legitimately want, like, she tried for so long to ignore how unhappy she was and just like hit this snapping point. Obviously shouldn't have gone around murdering prostitutes, but
yes,
but they did
stealing their wombs.
Yeah, and taking their wombs, weird. But I think that they made her a very interesting character. Like a character that's murdering a bunch of people and you still kind of sympathize with them. Shows some good like character writing. So yeah, when she died, I was like, oh fuck. For some reason I didn't expect her to die.
Yeah.
I didn't want her to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like her backstory too. I thought all things considering, it went by pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was really interesting that you saw like tidbits of how Ciel's like family life was before.
Yeah.
And so it was just like,
oh, he was
oh,
so happy.
he was so happy. He was just he was a normal boy.
Yeah.
It was so sweet.
And so,
yeah.
But it was really sad that it was just like unrequited love. I was just like, no, let her have love. But yeah, and I really like too that the husband she found was really understanding of her situation. And so it was one of those things where it's like, I may not love you entirely, but I love you for the fact that you understand where I'm coming from and you're still willing to do this thing for me, essentially.
Totally. Yeah, like I really want a family. And you know, I'm just being straight up with you that I've been in love with somebody that I can't have for like forever. And for him to be like, chill. I also want a family. So like, let's do this thing. And then he gets killed. It's like so fucked up, man.
So, and I really liked the way that they presented her backstory, because she's not just a like angsty, woe is me, bitter. She genuinely still wants to be like, has that good in her, and like it's just the life circumstances that have led her to that point. Not to excuse murder.
Yeah.
Listen.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that she still loves her nephew, like from the bottom of her heart. She still does genuinely love him. And to have that makes her really interesting, because she has that depth there to her. She's not just a black and white, evil, good character. Like there is complications there that she has gone through, and that she...
From the moment they wed, I hated my sister, and I hated you for being born.
Like it wasn't that.
No,
We had lots of moments in her memories after they had already been married where it was like, I genuinely really loved my sister, and my sister could cheer me up, and my sister was my best friend, and there was just like hurt that I for some reason couldn't ever let go of.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, you guys are talking about, I wish she hadn't died. Like, she got fucking chainsawed to the heart. And
Seriously.
what I thought was, characters have come back from worse. Like,
like, yo, she could not be dead.
she could survive. There's demons involved.
It's true.
And then the way that they have her funeral was really heart-wrenching too, to have Ciel come in and be like, Red is who you are. Like, Red is what you deserve to be, and that is who you are. And him to be the only one who understood that in terms of like all the people that were there, because they dressed her in white, they gave her white flowers, all of that stuff, for him to be the one to come in and be like, I understood who you are, and I love you, and want you to know that as you go into wherever you believe you're going. Can I just say that I love how many manga are like, something evil is happening in England in the 19th century. It's Jack the Ripper. It's always Jack the Ripper.
Yeah. Always. Yeah,
Always.
someone in chat was saying that Jack the Ripper is one of those ones that's just so easy to pull from, right? Because like we never found out exactly who did it. It has all of those like tantalizing elements to it. And it's, at the time, it was like very horrifying, right?
Yeah.
So it's just so easy to be like, yeah, the mystery is Jack the Ripper, and in the end it could be literally whoever we want.
Yeah.
So
I have a JoJo spoiler. JoJo's Bizarre.
okay. Spoiler fingers up. If you're listening to the audio, you're host, dude.
Sorry.
Spoiler fingers up for a JoJo spoiler. 3, 2, 1. Go, Aaron.
Wasn't it JoJo's the horse jumped out of Jack the Ripper?
Jack the Ripper jumped out of a horse?
It was,
right?
Wasn't it one of the other? Yes, he jumped out of the horse because they had the carriage, and then fucking Jack the Ripper just like exploded out of the horse, and we were doing.
That's right.
We were doing a
And we, like, cry
sleepover.
laughed.
Yeah, we were doing not a sleepover, anime pajama day, and we had chosen the first season of JoJo's to do, and Jack the Ripper fucking busted out of the horse, and everybody was like, "Okay, we're invested," and just were crying, laughing.
Yes,
It was so good.
It's true.
Okay.
Spoiler fingers down. You can unmute audio only people. I'm sure that was helpful.
They're gonna have no idea when to unmute.
I know.
Because they're not gonna hear you.
I'll just feel it out, I guess.
Jinx, by the way. You and I spoke at the same time. So I guess it doesn't really work after you've spoken more.
You owe me a Coke, Aaron. Or I owe you a
Wait,
Coke.
yeah, what?
Whoever calls Jinx is the person who owes a Coke. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Really makes people wanna jinx. Ooh. What about Lizzie's mom?
I love her.
I love her too.
Yeah, I love her too. She's just like super hardcore. I love that they kind of touched on how she and her husband met and how it was just he's like supposed to be the head of the knights for the queen or whatever, and she's just like, you're a fucking weakling.
So good.
I loved that. And in the like flashback, like she's the only one who's drawn. Her husband is just like a stick figure with heart eyes.
Yeah.
It killed me. Just like, oh.
So good. I really liked her because she was another one that felt a little bit more like fleshed out. She was only there for a chapter, but she didn't just feel like the same, oh, she's the evil auntie who has one direct thing and is just, you know, evil and dark for no reason. She felt a lot more complicated, and there was like a maternal part to her that she showed to Ciel. She wasn't just like, your disappointment, do. Having her, I think what really solidified her feeling like a real character was the fact that she did not kill the bear. That she froze. She goes back and she's like, I froze because my daughter was in danger. And the fact that they drew the terror on her face, it was like, okay, she genuinely loves her daughter and is like a good, I mean, we haven't seen a bunch, but I'm like, she feels like she's a good mother just based off of like that fact, and how we were seeing her interact with the other characters.
Yeah. I also liked that at the end she makes it really clear to Sebastian, like, I saw it. Like, like all of those moments with him opening doors and shit just being on fire and him closing the doors and being like, actually, let's go somewhere else. Like, she's not an idiot, right? Like, she saw what was in all of those rooms.
Yes. It's like, I've made a mistake. That was a humor moment that made me laugh so hard. So every single
really
time,
that, yeah.
I've made a mistake.
Have you made another mistake? The way that like was the third element. Yeah. For some reason, for me, her acknowledging that she realized that shit wasn't perfect, but still like kind of maintained the, oh, are we going somewhere else?
Yeah.
Oh, I sure hope nothing's wrong. She wasn't there to attack them, right? Like, she wanted them to succeed, at least on some level.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, which I guess like played out really well for like that time period where it's like women aren't supposed to be as headstrong as she is. They're supposed to be like little dainty dolls for display, and so it's kind of like her being really like I don't well-mannered in that she's not directly calling them out, but you can plainly see that she's not stupid, like you said.
Yeah.
Someone else we haven't talked about is Agni and the prince boy.
Yes.
Came in at the that was like the start of that arc. I don't think we finished
We haven't.
it.
No.
Yeah. So there was like I'm still trying to figure out exactly what's going on in this arc, to be honest. There was like a letter put up that was like, blah, blah, the queen sucks, and Ciel had to like show up and like figure out who's like putting up mean letters.
Yeah. And like,
is that what's going on?
People,
literally,
it's the people that they're attacking and like hanging from the roof are British people who were growing up in India, correct? And like treating it like they were royalty there, even just because they couldn't become important in England, so they went over there and like made people believe that they were royalty. Those were the people that were being attacked, correct? Did I read that right? It was really complicated. There was a lot of moving pieces in that history.
Yeah, this section, when we were talking about how long, this was off stream, but when we were talking about how long it took each of us to read it. This section, there were lots of chunks where I was like, this is going slow because I'm not totally sure what is
What's
happening.
happening?
The prince was brought out there to find this woman, or came out on his own to find this woman.
Yeah, Mina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's a belief, for those of you who are seeing one of our warnings is racism. It's because there's a lot of like ye old English type, like those damn Indians sort of shit.
Yeah.
Because they think that whoever is doing this is an Indian person, but they don't know that for sure. Correct?
Yeah, they're just assuming that it is.
Yeah,
And
they're
very,
assuming.
very openly saying why they assume it is. And I'm glad you guys also thought that were like racist, because I was sitting there like, I feel like this is heavily racist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which the manga kind of touched on it on like one of the little sections where the author talked about her like first starting up the manga, was that she did a lot of research for that time period, because all the stuff that she knew beforehand had just been like, oh, India curry, like it was all really
yeah
stuff. And so I think that mainly comes from like her researching and being like, oh, people from England at the time really did not like the Indians exactly. And so her trying to like, I feel like she does that a lot through this manga. It's where she tries to like get you to understand like, oh, during these times, like this is how things were, and it sucks, it's so shitty. And so I think it's, I don't know, it's so weird going back to it, because now it's like, now you would have been like canceled or whatever for trying to do that, because a lot of people don't understand that like the reason these people are shitty is because that's the point of them. You're not supposed to like them.
Right.
So
they're supposed to be that
I don't know, it's so interesting.
Yeah, they are. None of these characters are. None of the characters who are engaging in it are depicted in a way where you're like, oh, they're so likable though. Like,
yeah.
So we have the whole reveal with Agni that he's working with the one underground dude. I don't really get what his deal is, like what he's doing yet. I can't remember. But we learned that Agni is also, as a human, very equal to Sebastian. They showed that when they were fencing, they were doing their fencing match. Which I thought was a really interesting way for them to display that. It felt very natural, not just injected into it. And so I really enjoyed the way that they first gave that off and really set up the rest of the arc with Agni and what is going to go on with him, and the fact that he becomes the antagonist to Sebastian. And not that he's like a bad guy. Like, we still don't get know what his motivation is, other than he knows where Mina is and is figuring that out. So it makes him a little bit more of a fleshed out, interesting character, just to see, because we knew what his background is. He used to be like a really rich dude, and all this shit happened, and he was supposed to be hanged, and then Prince came in and rescued him, saved him. So I am really interested in how the rest of that arc goes.
I was pleasantly surprised, because of course the second that this prince showed up with this like basically butler who's really good at fighting, I was like, surely someone in this group is going to be like, you a demon?
Yes.
And so I liked that there was that conversation between Sebastian and Ciel like really early, like, hey, is he like you? Because I would really just love a heads up. And Sebastian would be like, no, he's a normal ass person ish. Yeah, all that they said, right, is when he was first introduced that his hands were blessed by God. It was something like that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the
So.
right hand.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, apparently his superpowers come from the goddess Kali. So I thought
Yeah.
that was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Another open door of, hey, we now have Hindu gods, like,
Yeah.
as well, goddesses.
Yeah.
And if you believe a certain way, you become that way. Like, I was like, all right, they're touching on a lot of bases that they can later be like, hey, I already said that this could be a thing. I've established it.
Yeah.
Right. Here's Shiva. I love when they were explaining like the Shiva story while they were praying. I loved the little like weird chibi picture showing it where she's like
Mhm.
stepping on him and he's like, oh haha. They're like, ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
So funny. Just like, what were we fighting about? Ha ha. Yes.
Let's talk about art. Should we talk about art? Or do you guys want to talk about Prince? We didn't really say too much about him.
There isn't much to say about him yet, though, is there?
I don't.
He's
think
like,
so.
I'm
No.
hot and I'm living here now.
Yeah, I think
that's
like
mostly his
Sebastian.
character.
Yeah, Sebastian like towards the end really touched on his character pretty much for us. That he's
Yeah.
just a spoiled brat who thinks that because he's like royalty from India that he has the same like rights over on England, and then Sebastian puts him in his place and he's like, no, you're just a fucking brat. You're
Yeah.
here as a guest. Shut the fuck
So
up. I
good.
don't hear you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very
Sorry.
succinct, exact thing.
Back to Anyi for a little bit. I really love him because he's just one of those characters that's really sweet, and it's just
Yeah.
like he's really good at what he does, and I just love that they contrast the way Sebastian handles the trio and then how he handled it, and then everything went perfectly. And Sebastian's
Right.
just like, excuse me, what? Why is it everything in ruin?
Yeah, I actually really loved that too.
Mm-hmm. But we may go on to art now.
Oh, no, you're good.
Great. All I wanted to say.
I guess I'll start.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
It was really weird because through the years of me like knowing about Black Butler and then kind of forgetting about it as time went on growing up, I expected everything to be a lot more detailed. And so that's why I talked about it early on. But yeah, a lot of the panels are super basic at times, and so it's just really weird because some of the things are hyper detailed and then there's just a bunch here and there that's just like, oh, that was done really simply. I don't know why I expected everything to be super over the top.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the art was pretty basic. Like, I wasn't blown away by it. It felt very shoujo, action shoujo.
The eyes.
Yeah, the
The
big
eyes
old
are just
eyes.
so big.
Yeah. And so I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was super detailed. I thought it worked okay. Like, it was fine. I really liked the character designs. I thought those were great. It didn't get, like, the action scenes weren't confusing at all. I didn't think it wasn't like super exciting, some of them, but I still was able to follow the ones that I did like. And yeah, I think the big thing, like, character designs, I really enjoyed those.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty. It's clean. It was easy to tell what was going on.
Yeah.
So in the action sections, I was like, yeah, even with the standard like this person is superhuman blur, it was Yeah, it was really clean. It was nice. I think I accidentally saw panels from a much later chapter, and it looks like it does nothing but improve over time. So I'm really curious to like,
Cool.
if I were to read more, I would be curious to like get really far in and then go back to these chapters and see the difference, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, someone said, "Are you not going to talk about Ciel in the dress?"
Oh
I think okay, look, I think that was like a monumental thing at the time. So let's talk a little bit about that. I, as a little girl, loved it because I was just like, oh my God, Ciel's so cute. And I love this dress. And so I was just, oh man, I don't know what it is about the mangaka, but she just gets it. She just understands.
Yeah.
People are gonna fucking love this. They might not understand it right now, but they're gonna love it. And this is gonna be like, it's gonna be the standard.
This is gonna be groundbreaking shit.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I love it.
My favorite part of the dress was that the hat conveniently covered his cursed eyeball.
Yes. Yes.
Incredible. I was like, what are they gonna do about his eye? There's just like a giant rose like right here off of the hat. It's like, is nobody gonna try to adjust that for him?
No.
And no one did.
It's like, why? Why would they?
Somebody
assume.
said there is still to this day an unreal amount of femme Ciel cosplayers at every convention.
Oh my God, I love
Which
it.
I believe.
I love it. It always gets me when people like, this was the main Shonen Ai scene we had was when Sebastian was putting Ciel into the corset. I don't get that confused.
That classic weird BL bait scene. Yeah. Where
Like,
one person's like, I can't.
No, just bear with it for a little bit longer. And there's like sweat and panting, and it's only just like this or like hands on the back. Yeah.
Yep.
What good times.
What good time.
Cool. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on, talk about? Otherwise, we can wrap up and do final thoughts and ratings.
I think so.
I think we got it.
Yeah, I think so too. Would anybody like to go first for rating this section, strictly this one?
I can go. Again, reiterating, I avoided Black Butler like the plague for years and years and years. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, but it shouldn't be surprising. Like, a lot of people really love this manga. So I was pleasantly surprised with like the amount of action in it, and the way that they're, again, just sort of like slowly dropping information about everything that's going on. I love that we're like 20 chapters in and we're still not like super clear on anything really.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning, it had what felt like filler chapters like right off the bat, and that was not my favorite thing. But the chapters that are very like focused on, this is an interesting arc and these are the chapters about that interesting arc, I've really liked. So yeah, I would probably give it like a 7.5. It surprised me. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Micah, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go next. Yeah, going back to it, I was surprised at how well it's still like kept up with the way current manga is. And so there were a few, it's like you said, there were a few moments where it was just kind of hard to read just because of there's like this weird whiplash of going between two different genres. And so it's so weird. So weird going back to it, but I still really enjoy it. And now I'm just like, I want to keep reading it just to see. Cause yeah, I also stopped reading it once I got into like high school. And so now I have absolutely no idea what direction the series is going in. So the mystery is just there as bait now. I'm just like, I wonder. So
Yeah.
I'd say it's like it's I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the action in it. I like the characters. I think they're really funny. And I mean, some of them are super simple, but I'm assuming a lot of them are going to be very different later on. And so I'm just really interested in seeing what happens with these characters.
Yeah.
So 7 out of 10
Yeah.
leaves me some wiggle room later on.
I'm also at 7 to 7.5 for all the reasons that you guys said. I was surprised that I really enjoyed it and got as invested in the story as it went along. I'm already invested in the characters. I really love it. It feels very character driven, which I really enjoy. And how they're opening so many things for future arcs has me really interested just to see where it's going, because it doesn't feel like it feels like it has a lot of options for different places it goes, and it could get really crazy. And so I'm excited to check out more of it. And I just really liked it. I like the action. I like the setup, the mysteries, the reveals, how there's depth to characters you would not usually get depth to. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's one that people should definitely give a chance to. For sure.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Cool. So that wraps up our discussion of Black Butler chapters 1 through 19. Next, we are going to read the description for the next week's manga. And then you guys in chat get to guess what it is. Dukes, I think you're reading it, right?
Yep, I got it all queued up.
Hit it.
Dang.
When Blank's brother encouraged her to play the virtual reality game Blank, he told her that as a girl, she would be doted upon. To prove that she could be a better player than him, even without the handicap, she was granted her special request for a male avatar. Her adventures in this online Blank begin as she discovers both what it is like to be thought of as a boy and the game.
Frosty Lemon Drop has been asking in chat to... Oh, hey!
Yeah,
they got it!
people are getting it.
People got
Frosty
it.
Lemon
Yay.
Drop. Frosty Lemon Drop, shout out, has been saying we need to read more manhwa and webtoons like the entire episode. And then they got it right. Like they hardcore like did it immediately. I love it.
I'm really excited for this one.
Me too. Moeka is the one who picked it, and she is saying that she's real excited too to talk about it.
Sick.
Yeah, I feel like this whole season of MangaPod has just been like, oh, here are things that I read as a kid, kind of forgot about, and now I'm going to force everyone to go back.
This is
and
what happens when Lou is gone. It's just all of us like, God, do you guys remember this? What? You don't? We should read it.
Yeah. Lou's gonna come back and be like, wait, what happened while I was gone?
Guys,
Yeah.
guys, please. Yeah, one half prince or half prince, I'm not sure.
Half Prince.
Yeah. Excited. What chapters are we reading?
We are reading volumes 1 through 3, chapters 1 through 17.
Hell yeah.
Checked out. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. Let's go ahead and shout out our stuff super fast. If you would like more MangaPod, we have a website, which is mangapod.card and .co. Every week.
Yeah.
Every week I turn to Moeka and go, what is the URL? And that's probably why I'm not memorizing it, because I just shout out to Moeka to be like, hey, can you drop it? So we have the website. We also have all of our episodes are going up on youtube.com/happilyerin, and we are also posting like audio streaming. So we're on iTunes and Spotify now. If you would like to listen to us, you can go and check us out over there. We also have all sorts of socials, reddit.com/r/mangapod. There's a schedule as well as a recommendation thread. If there's one that you would like us to check out, go ahead and post it there. And we have Instagram and Twitter as well. I'm Erin. Like I said, Happily Erin. I have YouTube, and then I also am much more active on Twitter and Instagram. I'm currently working on a book, which is in beta reader stage, and I've been going through beta reader notes, which has been very, very exciting. And then I am also currently obsessed with Thai dramas and sitcoms. So if you are one of the few people in the U.S. or who speak English that are interested in talking about that, come to me. I got all your
Hit a girl up.
recommendations. That's me.
I'm Dodger. You can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I stream almost every day, and I'm most social media wise. I'm most active on Twitter. I spend a lot of time on Instagram, but I don't really post anything there. I should post stuff more often. I just don't think about it. But if you want to go on Twitter and see retweets of anime memes and me posting about how adorable my kid is, then that's where you can find that. So
cute.
thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. Hello, I'm Moika. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Hello, I'm Moika. I stream, cosplay, do social media stuff. I do a bunch of stuff. You can find me at Mega Moika just about every site. Otherwise, yeah, in chat someone dropped my Twitch link. You'll find everything there as well. Yeah, I'm actually going to be streaming here in like 30 minutes. So if anybody
shit.
wants
Yes.
to, yeah. Well, it might be a little bit shorter. I just want to get some food. But
How dare.
yeah, I'm going to be streaming some
Real.
League of Legends. I'm getting back into streaming. It's scary. Took a break.
Yay!
Now I'm just like, oh, everyone's going to be gone.
Oh, no.
So yeah, if you like League and just chilling, it's mostly gonna be a just chatting stream and me being bad at League of Legends.
I love it.
Love it.
Everybody go watch Moeka after this.
Yes.
Yay.
And then if you want to check out our fourth co-host, Lou, Lou Talks Anime, you can go ahead and sorry if you're hearing some Windows notifications. Apparently I turned Instagram on to let me know and give notifications whenever somebody likes, comments, or tags me in something, and it just keeps popping up, and I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, I had to turn all of that stuff off recently because yeah, every time I streamed, people would be like, "Fuck, I thought that was my computer."
I'm just like, stop it. Yeah, go send Lou some love. Lou Talks Anime now. He'll be joining us once life kind of calms down for him, but we love him so much, so send him some love. Otherwise, we will be here next week talking about Half Prince, chapters 1 through 17, volumes 1 through 3. We'll see you guys then. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.